Okay, hi guys. Welcome to recent changes in SEO that affect you. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. My name is Justin Allen. I'm the manager of our account development department and have worked for iMatrix. Actually, this will be my 3-year anniversary coming up in just a few days. So today, we are going to be talking about a bunch of things. Today's webinar will really explore a lot of recent changes that have impacted the world of SEO and social media, and we want to educate you on how this would affect your internet marketing plan. So we're going to go over about 6 different subject matters. The first is going to be Google's change to keyword data. The next will be Hummingbird, Google's newest algorithm update, which is fairly fresh. We'll talk about AdWords enhanced campaigns. We'll look at YouTube and the new Google Plus connection. We'll talk about hashtags and social search. And we will discuss Facebook updates. And we're still waiting. A couple of people are joining us, so we'll slow it down just a little bit, but we'll keep on going. If you miss any part of this, we are recording this webinar, and we can always come back to it if you want any of the information at a later date. So let's jump into it, shall we? Maintaining an online presence. A strong presence really includes a couple of things. The strong presence actually helps establish your brand, who you are, your logo, your image. It helps you promote your services and products. It drives business to the practice. It helps retain existing business and keeps you competitive in your marketplace. So, as you already know, an online presence is really essential to a local practice or business. An online presence really contains many factors, including a professional website, a presence on social media, pay-per-click advertising on search engines like Google, video marketing, general advertising, and search engine optimization, or SEO. All of these facets of online marketing are essential to getting more business in the door. In order to maintain a successful online presence, you need to stay current on what is happening in these areas. 1 second. In today's webinar, we will be discussing online marketing changes and trends that affect a local business, and we'll look at how these changes benefit or impact your practice. Did you know that 95% of consumers use the internet to find local business? According to a Bright Local Consumer Review Survey in 2013, we were able to pull this information. Without a strong online presence, a business is missing out on a large group of potential clients. While a professional website is a great foundation for success, recent changes in SEO and social media make other marketing tactics essential to continually attracting new business while retaining existing business. Now, one of the things that we really spend a lot of time with our clients today going over is that a website is really one part of a greater presence. There are a lot of components that are important to your business, not just the website. So we have to really start thinking in a bigger online presence picture. So one thing that we're going to start with is Google's change to keyword data and what that really means. Over the past year or so, Google has been making an effort to personalize searches and make them more private. Recently, Google made a more significant step to ensure user privacy, and this has impacted keyword data by quite a bit. We'll take a look at what this keyword data change means and what the solution is for handling the issue. The first issue, unknown keywords, SSL, and not provided count. In an effort to provide extra protection for users, Google has started to encrypt all search activity, even for users that aren't signed into their Google account. This does not apply to Yahoo or Bing, who still have trackable search. This means that when you look at your Google Analytics to see what the keywords users are trying to get to your site are, you'll see what's listed as unknown keywords, SSL, instead of the actual keywords used. Essentially, you won't be able to tell what keywords are effectively driving people to your website. This only impacts your organic searches. PPC will still track keywords. Now, an SSL is a secure, is essentially a secure socket layer, is what SSL stands for. And it's designed to encrypt any kind of data that we're transmitting. So essentially what this means is because of the changes in making searches encrypted, we can no longer see as in analytics what people are typing when they come to our website. So keep that in mind. Now, the solution to this is to change our focus. Rather than focusing on a keyword and how much traffic it drives, we want to now focus instead on the results we're achieving. What pages are getting a lot of traffic? What content is getting the most interactions? By looking at where the traffic is ending up, we can then determine which keywords appear to be doing better than others. This does take time and effort and can be a little like solving a puzzle. However, it will help you continually to improve your website to provide high-quality content that drives business in the door. The idea, again, is pretty straightforward. Instead of looking at what kind of traffic is coming in and where the searches are coming from, we'll instead look at to where traffic is going. And in turn, is that generating new business for us? Now, number 2, Hummingbird, Google's newest algorithm update. While Penguin and Panda were just updates to Google's search algorithm, Hummingbird is a completely new one. Searches with Hummingbird focus on returning results that match the user's intent. If a person searches for veterinarians in Santa Fe, the entire search query will form a context. This means that the user will no longer see search results that define what a veterinarian is or general information about Santa Fe. Hummingbird will show results that only include listings related to veterinarians in Santa Fe. The flight of the Hummingbird, so to speak, is actually a great thing for users and businesses because the focus is on the user intent. Users should see higher quality results. Businesses with web pages that actually address and answer questions will get more traffic. Having an FAQ page, adaptable content pages, or by creating blogs with a question in the title will improve your rankings, as long as they answer the questions that are asked. So, for example, if you're on Google now or previously and you searched for a question, you typed in a question to Google, oftentimes Google would locate particular keywords within that search query, and they would deliver based on a combination of the keywords in the order in which you use them. Now, Google is trying to actually understand what your question is. What are you really asking? And within that question, they are now looking for the answer. So, for example, if we are a veterinarian and we are a practice that specializes in doing dental work, one of the things that we can do is the question might get asked on search engines, how do we do this? What is the best way to do this? So instead of now optimizing specifically for a veterinarian that does dental work, we can actually optimize for the question that's being asked and with the answer. This way, improving our ability to come up on the search results page. Here. Now let's pull up to AdWords Enhanced Campaigns. So the new platform for AdWords Enhanced Campaigns includes a couple of new features. Geo-modifying bids, mobile targets, bid multipliers, and upgraded ad extensions. Google did not take the summer off this year. Rather, they rolled out a new AdWords platform for pay-per-click advertisement that allows for what we call enhanced campaigns. This was really exciting news because it gives local businesses a much more granular control method for running PPC campaigns. Here is what matters to local businesses: geo-modifying bids, mobile targeting, bid multipliers, and upgraded ad extensions. Geo-modifying bids allow you to target potential clients only in a certain geographical range, whether it be by zip code, walking distance, or a 5-mile radius. Mobile targeting gives you the ability to only target users that are searching on a mobile device. Bid multipliers give a granular level of control over spend. With bid multipliers, you can now decide whether you want to spend less money on a particular neighborhood, say it's a heavily industrial area, or difficult to get your business from that area, or bid higher for mobile users in a particular location. Lastly, upgrade ad extensions. Upgraded ad extensions are add-ons to traditional AdWords text ads. With the upgraded ad extensions, you can now set different site links for different ad groups or assign specific numbers for users that are on mobile devices. All of these new features enable a local business to more efficiently and effectively spend their PPC ad budget to get the best results. Now, looking back over this, one of the really great parts of this is mobile targeting. The fact that we're actually able to deliver very particular information to mobile devices helps us immensely because the conversions are a little bit different. People on mobile devices want to get different information in a different manner, and this helps us improve with our ability to convert those prospective clients towards us. Geo-modifying it is also fantastic for being very specific, and the bid multipliers is fantastic because we can actually avoid neighborhoods where we're trying not to spend money. Like example, like the industrial neighborhoods or poor neighborhoods that we don't want to target as much. And we can target more better neighborhoods or better communities that we have a better chance of getting a better client for us. So these are all really fantastic enhancements that have been done. Now, another thing that we want to discuss is the YouTube and Google Plus connection. As you already know, YouTube is owned by Google, and Google Plus is Google's social network. So at the end of September, Google started rolling out a new closely integrated YouTube Google Plus Comments platform. The new platform makes Google Plus one of the driving and managing forces behind YouTube. This new development expands control over the comment process, something people have wanted for a really long time, and extends the capabilities of discussions. The first major impact is that online users cannot leave anonymous reviews anymore. This is a big deal. Everyone has to be logged into Google Plus in order to leave a comment, so they need to have a profile. The comments that will be at the top of the list will include those made by the channel owner video creator, popular personalities, engaged discussions, and people in your Google Plus circles. You will also be able to start conversations that are public, only visible to those in your circle or are restricted to you and one other user. In addition to eliminating anonymity, channel owners can now moderate the comments and discussions about their videos. If a particular viewer is hostile or crass, you can ban them from commenting your video. You can also block certain words like foul language and put a rule in that all comments must be reviewed before they are live on the site. These new features provide an immense amount of control to channel owners. If you don't already have a Google Plus account for your business, you need to set one up. Now, going back, this actually creates an interesting kind of trend that we're seeing. You may or may not have noticed recently that Google has really made an effort in the last year or two to really remove anonymity from reviews and from comments. Two things are happening here. One is when you're any Google-related service, whenever anyone's leaving any kind of feedback, obviously they're going to be someone, Google's making an effort to make sure that that person is in fact real. This also means that your competition can't put up fake reviews. It means your competition can't leave bad feedback on any of the things that you're posting. This is really advantageous for you to really narrow down who is making comments and help address either the issues that people are having or making sure that untrue or unfair things don't go put online. This also really is trending towards Google being serious about making Google Plus a much better, a much more required tool for us. Whereas Facebook as a social network is so incredibly popular, Google is making a strong effort to make sure that Google Plus is also as important as Facebook when it comes to your online and social presence. So let's jump into hashtags and social search. So hashtags, when it comes to social media, there are really two hot topics. The first is hashtags, and the second is what's called social search. They are closely related. Hashtags are the tags added to a social post that make them posts that are searchable. For instance, if you add a hashtag chiropractic rocks to Facebook, Google+, Instagram, or Twitter post, when users search for the term chiropractic rocks, your post will be included in the search results. Here is where the hashtags relate to search. If a user now types a hashtag into the Google search bar, it will pull up all the posts, blogs, news stories that have that hashtag included. Even before hashtags became searchable on Google, search engine optimization and social have started to form a close relationship. As you have likely noticed, more and more social media pages populate search engine results pages, or SERPs. Because of this very reason, it is very important to have properly optimized and active social media presences. By simply optimizing your Facebook business page with your address and phone number, your business can appear in more searches. Additionally, social media is incorporated more and more into search capabilities. Facebook's graph is a great example of this. You can actually search for different things via the search feature that pulls up on posts and profiles. Google Plus and Twitter are also both becoming very popular because of their search functionality. The bottom line is that you can't have a successful SEO presence without a professional social media one. Now, again, we're already starting to get some questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the questions section, and we will do our best to address them at the very end of the webinar. So, moving on to our next one, Facebook features. Facebook has made two really interesting features available to users recently. Along with updates to graph search, the first feature to roll out was embedded posts. This is a somewhat underutilized function. If you post to your social media announcing a contest that takes place on Facebook, you now have the ability to embed that individual post so it continually updates as the post, as more content is put onto that particular post. So for example, if there's links, comments, all of that can be updated just on that post. In the past, you could do an embed where Facebook, where your Facebook posts would show up as most recently. Now we can actually do an embed for a particular post and have information about that post continually being updated. Additionally, we have some new graph search updates where users can now search posts, status updates, photo captions, check-ins, comments, and along with the status updates. The second feature rolled out very recently, along with the enhancements to graph search, are the new feature to Facebook overall that page owners can now edit past status updates. This means if you posted a status update to Facebook yesterday and realized it had a spelling error or there was something incorrect about it, you can actually edit that update. Previously, you had to actually delete it, and any comments that went with it got deleted as well, and then you just have to go and repost it. Now, there's some discussion that this feature might be misused. It's still a very interesting and potentially beneficial feature that enables a small business to closely control your branding and correct any mistakes. So that's it for the latest updates that we really wanted to share with you. It's a lot of information that myself and the team of experts that we have here managing your social, video, PPC, and SEO services are always current on the latest information. So don't hesitate to ask any questions that you have about these changes. So let's take a look at some of the questions and see where we are and see what we can answer. Give me one moment to start pulling these up. Okay, so I've got a bunch of questions in here, and they're streaming even more, so I'm going to pick a couple of them, and we'll start there. The first question I want to address was from, let's see, is it better to not blog than to blog mediocre? Well, this is a great question, and the answer to the question is content is really king. What that means is we are looking for real good content. We have to actually be able to address a question and address an answer correctly. So the answer is yes, it is better to actually do a, well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase it. Is it better not to blog? The answer is kind of mixed results. When you say mediocre, it really boils down to the posting type. For example, if we post a question and the answer, the question is in the blog post. So let's go back to an example. The question is, what is the best way to groom my pet? Well, if the answer is a short 3 or 4 word sentence, or even just a two-sentence answer, the answer is probably not sufficient enough. So in terms of mediocrity, that really varies. But the goal here is to make sure that when answering a question in a blog post or doing a blog post at all, we provide good, relevant content that responds well to the question or the title of the blog post. So it is important to do that. I wouldn't recommend just filling in information for the sake of blogging. So let's see. Let's see another question here. Oh, I got a great one from an Erica out there. What is the best tip to hit the first page on Google? Well, Erica, there is no best tip, but what I can tell you is by having a very broad understanding of SEO, and I mean having a broad presence, having things like active and very well-utilized social media posts, having a great website that's updated with good content, making sure we're addressing the keywords we're trying to come up for in our content is important. Doing things like that are going to go a long way towards improving your SEO. Don't forget video. Video, when properly optimized, helps a website immensely find better ranking. Let's see. We have a question is, where do you get the recorded session? After the webinar, we will be sending an email to anyone who registered with us with a recorded version of the webinar. So everyone will actually get a email link with that access. So we'll get that for you. Let's see. Should we be using blog or iBlog? Okay, here's a great question. Should we be using a WordPress blog or an iBlog? Well, the truth is we really want you to use an iBlog. And the reason is pretty straightforward. If you're using an outside WordPress blog, you might be on WordPress.com leaving blog information. That's great for your WordPress site to come up in results or potentially help you rank. But the value of those blog posts on iBlog have a much more impactful, are going to be much more impactful to your website. So we really would prefer you guys use the iBlog tool for your posts. Let's see. I really don't like Facebook. Do I have to use it? The answer is yes. You really do need to use it. If you're concerned about your ability to come up higher in search results, any good SEO is going to tell you that you really need to be using these tools. You don't have to like it. This isn't something that necessarily you have to go along with and get into it and create your own account. But you need to have an active Facebook business page for your business. That's going to help you immensely as far as coming up well. And not only that, but keep in mind that in a lot of cases, your social media pages have their own ability to rank. For example, we have a client of ours who's in Laguna Beach, and if you do a primary search for them or for their service in Laguna Beach, you'll see their website comes up, their local page comes up, their Facebook page comes up, their Yelp page comes up, and they have a directory or two come up. They take up almost half of the first page search results. So don't ignore your Facebook page or your other social medias. And the next question you're probably going to get is, do you have to do the other social media? The truth is, you really need to. If you're going to only do one, obviously do Facebook. But Google Plus and Twitter are really important. If you're going to be active, if your goal is to rank better, these are things you have to start doing. Let's see. What's another good question? Let's see. Let's see. Another question we got is, how do we make sure I am seeing a true organic search result for my website? Is it different to search on Mac versus PC? No, there is no difference as far as Mac or PC goes. You are going to see the same organic results regardless of your operating system at this point in time. That may change in the future with different tablet devices and different OSs, but at this point, there's not going to be any difference as far as organic goes. Let's see. Do these same things you mentioned need to be used with Yahoo and Bing? Well, the truth of the matter is that because Google is the predominant search engine out there and represents a vast majority of our traffic, really the other sites aren't quite as important. Now, that doesn't mean they're not important. A lot of the same things you're going to do for Google are going to impact your rankings on the other search results. In fact, there was, and I don't know if they're still doing this, but Bing for a little while was using Google's search results as part of their own algorithm to determine where you came up. So the bottom line is, if you're going to do well in Google, more than likely you're also going to do very well in Yahoo and Bing, which are delivering the same results right now as well. All right. Another question is, what should your Facebook posts be about? That is a great question, and really that's going to vary depending on your business and exactly what we're doing. But what we always tell people who call into our account development department is, we really want to focus in on engagement. How do we get people to respond on Facebook? There are three things that people can do on our posts when we post them. They can either comment, they can share, or they can like. We love all three of those things. And in fact, the more engagement we get with a client when they do one of those three things, the better social reach that we're going to have. So we really want to get content people will respond to. One thing we try and tell clients to stay away from is try not to be too preachy, try not to be too educational, because a lot of people are using social media for more entertainment. So try and make your posts a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more interesting. Try and get content that you think a regular person or your clients will respond to. The more they respond to it, the better we're going to do. How do you make your website mobile optimal? Oh, I love this question. Mobile optimal, and it's a weird way to say it, but in the end, when it comes to mobile, one thing that we're really talking about today is what's called responsive design. One thing we've released recently with one of our new designs is what's a fully responsive design. What that means is when somebody visits our website from a smartphone or from a tablet or from their regular computer, the website will automatically adjust to fit that browser better. So for example, on our new skin series for our clients, our skins actually reduce in size to fit their browser better, but without losing the actual design of our website. So the clients get a much more functional website on an iPhone or on an Android phone than they would if they just use a straight mobile version. Now, we still offer a mobile version for our clients, but if you're switching over to some of our newer skins, you're going to want to take advantage of the more responsive designs. And if you are one of our clients and you do want to do a design update or talk to one of our account development consultants, call us up. We'll schedule a complimentary refresh with you. We'll take a look at the new designs, get you moved on over to them, and really pinpoint any issues that we might recommend you address or anything that we can help you address. Let's see. Okay, so here's another question. Does using images on our site that are copied from Google Images hurt our ranking? The answer is don't copy images from Google or any other websites. You could actually be sued by the owner or even ICANN, who regulates that. Keep in mind, one thing we've run into recently is Getty Images, which owns is a large provider of images for different sources, actively targets people who are using their images without permission and will actually send you a bill for it. And those bills tend to be in the neighborhood of $600 all the way on up to $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 per instance that happens. You want to make sure that the content you put on your website or any images that you go online and grab, you have permission to use. Be very careful because you could get yourself in a sticky situation and potentially get yourself sued. Let's see, real fast. I think we're running out of time on here, and I'm looking to see if there's a quicker question I can answer. Let's see. Let me see this one. One last question I do want to answer. Are all of the changes we're talking about today relevant to Google.ca? The answer is yes. The changes that are being impacted will impact Google.ca in the same way that Google.com is impacted. So all you people north of the border, this still applies to you. And I think we're going to probably cut off right there for today. So if you have any other questions, please don't hesitate to give us a ring. If you are an existing client, call us up. Talk to my department, which is the account development consultants. We are here to help you. There's no cost to talk to us. We'll be happy to guide you through SEO practices, social media practices. We'll be happy to explain what you're doing wrong, if anything, what you can do right. And frankly, we're here to help support you and make sure you're getting the most out of your service. So don't hesitate to call us up. If you're a prospective client or you're not a client of ours, call up our internet consultants. Talk to them about things that they might recommend for you. Even if you're not a client, we're happy to talk to you. Or potentially we could talk to you about how we can help you and the services we can offer to make sure you're getting what you need from your internet marketing. Anyway, I appreciate everybody's time today. I hope the webinar was very informative, and we look forward to talking to you later. Again, you can call 1-800-iMatrix if you have any questions. Bye, guys.